Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Green Lantern issue 48 by Ron Marz, Bill Willingham, and Romeo Tanghal. So yeah, this is the beginning of what's to come. So I'm going to lead you to it. There's not much of action in here, but there's a lot of, unfolding what's happening with Hal. And it's very interesting to see where it all began. So without further ado, guys, we're gonna go in. But before that, if you like my channel, all that stuff, and you see daily here, I'm doing daily videos. Maybe you like to, subscribe to my channel. I would like that very much. Leave, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Did I say leave? I mean. Let's dive in. All right. So we see Hal here. This is the aftermath of the issue that he fought Mongol and Cyborg Superman because Coast City is destroyed. And he lived here. He grew up here. He met his first love here. He has his parents here. This city was very dear to Hal's heart, and now it's gone because of a madman. And he thinks back when he got the ring about the alien and what the ring can do. The power of the ring knows few strictures. Truly, it's bounded only by the will of the bearer. With such a ring, you could do anything. Now, okay, remember this part, guys. I'm sorry. So I got something in my eye. Robocop Terminator. So he uses the power of his ring to make a dome. And in that dome comes forward his father. And of course, it's not the real one, right? So the father says, "Gotta bust a wing there, son." "Oh yeah, nothing serious, really. But thanks for asking." "Did you want something?" All right. So, yeah, he says, "I wanted to talk to you about you and about me. So talk." It's just being here, it gets me thinking. Bring back a lot of memories from my from my childhood. And what I remember about you, how I looked up to you, how I worshipped the ground that you walked on or flew over. I wanted to grow up and be you, which probably has a lot to do with who I am now. Growing up, though, I never felt like you. I don't know, thought that much of me. So basically, he thinks he's a letdown, and he seeks his father's approval. I wanted you to be proud of me. I wanted that so much just to hear you say it once. And his father says, "Jesus Christ, Hal, it's been so long ago. Just once, but you hardly knew I was alive. You was always patting Jack or Jim on the back, telling them how great they were." He's talking about his brothers. And, but the brothers were just different people. They have made other accomplishments. And but then Hal starts boasting that he became actually better than his father. He became a hero. He became a space cop. And he says, do you have any idea the things I've done?" "Like what, Hal?" says the father. "Didn't do much to save Coast City, did you?" Oh, stabbing in the back. So then they look at each other, and the father says, "You know what? Hey, it's time to go. I have a plane to catch." But then Hal says, "Wait, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't want it to be like this. Please come back. I can go through that again. I don't want to see it again." And then we see exactly what happens when Hal was younger, when his father died. The plane is exploding, leave him traumatized. And then another voice and another person comes in his life, and it's his mother. And she's more like has a kinder approach. She says, "I thought you might need someone to talk to. I know how your father can be." Well, Hal says, well, he's still like he was, I guess. I always be a failure in his eyes, that's all. Um, nothing I could do. Nothing I could do is going to change that. And but then the mother says that he needs to stop carrying around that thought or that guilt, and that it would destroy him if he is going to carry that around for years and years. I know that from personal experience. And she said, I let it go. And Hal says, well, how did you do it? Well, basically, it's more like a normal process when you lose someone. First of all, there's grief and unbelief and, a lot of emotions raging through you. But then at some point, the grief is still there, but you can carry on with your daily life. And at some point, you're never going to forget that person, but it still lingers, maybe in your mind, the hurt is still there, but not as much. You basically accept that the person is not there anymore. And she then says that it's better to go, remember the good things, what his father has, what an influence he had on Hal, how he was as a person. And she says to Hal, it's more important to stick to those thoughts, stick to the happy thoughts, how he was, not the other way around. But then Hal says, I don't want memories, damn it. There are not enough. And she's talking about the good memories, of course. And then he does this. So he uses his willpower to create the city that he loves, Coast City. And everything is there, all the buildings, how he remembers this, And but that also says, it would be tempting, wouldn't it? All it would take really is the will. Oh, certainly it takes basically is every will to realize it. But it would be tempting, thinking of it. The power to resurrect that which no longer exists, or create which only exists in the mind's eye. All of it perfect in every detail. The power to make the dead live again, to redress any wrong, to rewrite memory with happy endings. Wow, this looks so cool. Look at this. And he says, the power to be God. And then another voice, and it's his childhood sweetheart, I guess. It's Jennifer. And he says, I'm glad you were here. And she is also glad to see him. She remembers him, but, she finds his costume a little bit strange. Which is, of course, normal. I mean, he dresses in some kind of a jumpsuit with white gloves and a mask on. And so she says, where do you go? I say, I don't know. Maybe I go to my folks, to mom and dad. Oh, they would like that. Come on, I'll walk you. So they have a stroll on memory lane, I guess. So Hal talks about what would happen if they would still be together, And she said, but we were kids, Hal, teen sweethearts. No, we were more than that. You were special, my first love. You came along when I needed somebody. Don't be so dramatic, she says. I was, Jen. Don't pretend it wasn't. I met you, 3 years after the crash, and I still wasn't over my dad's death. You helped me to stop hurting, helped me to start life again. And, so they're having a nice talk. And he says, what would I have done without you? It was good, wasn't it? That's great. This is great stuff, man. So why did I screw up? She says, Hal, you don't need to. No, I need to do this. I do need to. You practically stitched me back together. And a year later, I said thanks by turning my back on you. I'm young. I wanted to see other people. What an idiot I was. Now I realize that the best years of my life, you were the best, and I was a fool to let you go. Lord, what might have been? I assume you found someone else? Eventually, you probably wouldn't know him, but we did settle in Coast City. You mean you were here when? And she says, It was over pretty quickly, though. And he says, I'm sorry. And he says, it'll be all right. Nobody blames you. We're just happy you're doing this for us. And then they are here at his parents' house. And he says, hey, let's do this sometime again. Sure, I'm looking forward to him. So she gives him a kiss. He says, bye. This is so good, man. And this is all messed up, by the way. But imagine if you could do this, right? In real life, that you have the power to summon everything that you wanted and go back to relive it again in full detail. Jesus, man, that's nuts. And he says, Mom, Dad, I'm home. Hey there, Hal. Come on and have yourself a seat. How's that arm of yours? Fine, Dad. That's good. Good to be home too, isn't it? Good to just to be there again, if you know what I mean. Son, this thing you put together here, everybody surely appreciates it. It seems the right thing to do. Yes, sir, quite an accomplishment. Maybe, I've never said this before, but maybe I should have now. Maybe I should have before now, but I'm... So basically he wants to say what Hal wants to hear, because Hal says, yes, Dad, yes. And then something happens. Dad, what's wrong? And then everything is gone, everything he's built. And Hal is in really distress because the ring's charge is gone. And he says, it's not fair. And then this is happening. So one of the guardians comes up and he says, he doesn't say Hal or Hal Johnny, he calls him 2814 because that's his designation, Space Cup title, I guess. And he says, your power time limit has expired. So give me more. I need to bring everything back out of the question 2814, I'm sorry. This projected has been sent to conduct you to go to Oa for a disciplinary action. You violated our most sacred canon. You have used your ring for personal gain. Personal gain? This is about personal loss. Can you withered old gnomes even grasp that concept? So he's going on a rant against this guy here. And he says, discussion was not invited. Surrender your ring, 2814, and prepare for transport to Oa. And then Hal does this. He says, I want more power. I can get some by drawing it off your projection. Oh, I come back to Oa, all right. But you're not going to like me when I get there. And then he uses then the same words in the beginning when, the space cup come from the stars that gave Hal Abin Sur, I believe was his name. And he says, the power of the ring knows few strictures. Truly, it's bounded only by the will of the bearer. With such a ring, you could do anything if you wanted to badly enough. If you wanted to badly enough? Is that nice? If you wanted bad. Okay, maybe a typo, I'm not sure. Anyway, so he goes off to Oa, and then we are getting introduced to Kyle Rayner and his girlfriend. Well, that's another thing for another day because of what's happened to him and what's happening to her. Yes, and that leads us to, I can show you, to this. Yeah, this is going to be good, guys. So, yeah, really cool. I love the fact the writing is really good. I mean, it tackles a lot of things: loss, insecurities, anger, sorrow, approval, from your parents or from your loved ones or from the people that you lost, to do better, become better, but still think that you are a failure, lots of insecurities. It's all coming to light, but Hal has now the will and the power to change all that. And we're going to see that in the coming issues that I'm going to review on my channel, Dark Side is Comics. So stick around, guys. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.